We got a lot to take a look at today, including what's going on here with gold. We're going to check in also on silver, both perking up today. And is that in response to a weak dollar? Dollar is actually unchanged on the day, up slightly here on the day. Yields over here slightly falling over here. What's going on? What is right? Who is wrong? That's what we're going to be looking at over here. We're going to take a look over here, checking in on the Nasdaq, also on the Russell 2000 over here across the board, S&P 500 coming into an area of resistance right now. We'll put that all together and then we'll just check in over here. We have Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to consolidate over here, waiting for a push past this trend line to take the next leg up on Bitcoin. You can see that this trend line over here was successfully defended so far today over this past 8 hours. Whether or not we're able to continue up and take another test into this resistance, or we lose this trend line, that's what happens next on Bitcoin. That's how I'm following it over here on the 8-hour time frame. What's going on, everyone? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. Either which way, please, if you learn anything new or enjoy spending this time together, smash that like button. Over here on the S&P 500, you can see that we're coming in towards the top of this resistance over here. Nothing has changed. Everything remains exactly as we've been tracking it, right? It's just not attractive, and it continues to be that way. 1.43% gain in the S&P 500. Wow, that's just absolutely crazy, right? No, right? So over here into this trend line, over here into that resistance, if we break above it, if we do get the opportunity to break above that trend line over here, might look like something that like this over here. At that point, that's what we'll use. Anyone who's trading the indexes actively to go ahead, perhaps take some profit into that, and then look for an interim top over here and something to lean into and buy back into any type of correction. You can see that happening twice over here. Look at this trend line over here. Let me draw this in nice for you. I want everyone to focus in on it. I'm just going to drag this trend line over here just to focus where I'm focusing with you. And you can see that looks something like that, we'll call it. I think it was like this, and then it was cloned up. You all remember the beautiful work we did on the S&P 500 early into 2000. It looked something like this, and when we broke out to the upside over here, we had that melt up. That's what it was. It was a melt up. That was an opportunity for profit taking, and that was also a new interim top. Over here, you saw the same thing play out again. You saw this trend line over here. Again, we were all over this the whole way. It was the first week of July. I got out of the markets. I said they're risky. I was wrong because they melted upwards about 4% over here. And then, yeah, they were very volatile. It was good and smart being out of the markets. When I say I was wrong, I said I didn't play this perfectly. And I didn't. But I was going on vacation the first week of August, and that was the right thing to do. That's what I do. That's why I've been around here for 20 years. Right? Look, you can't always get the best trade. Your whole job is just to get the sweet spot of the trades. But notice over here, as we melted upwards, we broke, like over here, we broke above that trend line. That was, again, the area to take profit into. That also led up the correction. Are we getting ready to see something like that? Well, that depends on whether or not we break the trend line or not. If we're just rejected over here, then probably we're ranging out a little further until we see a breakdown. Here was a possible breakdown, another possible. Neither one of those wound up confirming themselves. We were just over here, right? I was just like, equities are risky, just get out. That was around November, right before going into the election, and end of October. I was like, they're risky, just get out. And I was like, okay, now time to get back in, right? So there's been nothing that's been really had our attention, and it continues to remain so. But as we get up close to this top over here, just keep in mind, if we break out to the top side, that might be setting up something you're interested in actively trading. Let's look, before we look at the Nasdaq, stop on the Russell 2000 over here, and you could see what happened. We were tracking this little bit of what looked like an ascending wedge. It broke to the downside, and then it never resumed off. You could say over here it tried to resume off. You had a lower low, but you never broke down over here whatsoever, or had any indication that you were beginning to break down on the Russell. Right, again, it's not something we've been actively watching and monitoring, maybe once every other day, once a day, because there's nothing really going on over here. Nasdaq, we did look into this somewhere. I guess it was on Monday. We looked into Nasdaq over here as it was breaking out outside of this little bit of a trend line, and then confirmed that, and then has resumed off beautifully. This is conquering the markets all day long. Just so you see it over there, you could see, boom. But again, it wasn't interesting. We just said, oh, look, it looks like the Nasdaq's going to go up from here, but it wasn't interesting, and that remains so. That remains where I see across the board. Just since we're here, you can see the Dow just about testing all-time highs over there. It's all beautiful to see, but we've been on autopilot with the equities, and that's a lot of happening of what we remain. I think everyone after watching this should have a really good indication of what they're looking for going forward right now. And I'll walk you through it if it comes off. Let's talk about the dollar. Dollar's unchanged on the day. Dollar hasn't really moved ever since being rejected over here into that resistance over there. Hasn't even met the stronger resistance. And it looks like it's trying right now to decide whether or not it's going to resume down. You can see that trend line over here, the breakdown, the retest, whether it's going to start resuming down right now or it's going to pop back into this channel. It's the same place we left it at during this morning's live stream. What is interesting is you're seeing yields off slightly, finally. Is that a trend change? I mean, look, this is the trend. This is a pullback into resistance. The resistance really up here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit further rise in yields. And maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we're going to see a breakdown of over here, a breakdown of that line over there. That would say, all right, well, we're going to see lower rates continue. And because QE is at the end of the day, it's super deflationary for rate yields. Super. Is it going to take them negative? That's the question that everyone should be asking right here as we're seeing rates rise over here. Everyone is all of a sudden expecting, I don't know if it's because the $1 trillion in stimulus being floated by or the fact that, you know what, it's just really going to, all this silliness is going to cause massive amount of inflation and the market's going to raise rates regardless. But you do have the central bank, the Federal Reserve over there doing everything in their power to suppress those rates, to keep the system going. QE is one of those things, right? And is QE enough to keep these rates down? I think so. I personally think so over here. You're seeing gold react. Yesterday during the morning live stream, we spoke about gold. We spoke about the fact that, look, this might be a lower low, that it's a higher low that it's putting in. This might be a time to act. We went in and then we added in the trend line on the upper side over there, right? And then from there, we went and we looked at silver, which we said also looking very, very bullish over here. Here's silver. We could say that it came into that resistance, pulling back, drew some trend lines over here, and you could see it was just setting up and waiting. We only spent about 2 minutes covering both gold and silver yesterday, just noting that, hey, look, maybe here they're potentially looking to turn around. Have they turned around? Before we look at that, let's look at gold and Bitcoin, this current crossover here. In my opinion, this is probably one of the easiest trades going forward in 2021, right? There is that whole thing we talked about during a crisis. During a crisis, you really want to be focused in on the gold to silver ratio. I talked about during a crisis, going back to 2008, you'll see the same thing over here. It's clear as day that you want to be invested in gold over silver. Once QE starts, once that balance sheet's increased, it's all about silver. That occurred over here back in 2008. We could see it sharply over here during that crisis, that sharp appreciation into gold, which is more of a safe haven asset than silver, right? And then after QE, what happens? Silver, ballistic. This is what's happening right now. By the way, here's another one of those beautiful trend lines we look at, and you could see once price broke, that's when it bled out. If you come over here right now, I've been saying for quite a while, and again, go back a couple of months. That's the thing. It's all on video. It is all on video. And I was saying during this spike up, it looks like this is a good opportunity to add to the direction of the silver, right? Because silver should continue to outperform over here. I said this was just noise. Sure enough, it's been the top, and we're coming back down over there. This support line, once it goes over there, I would even draw this in. It's a little bit cleaner, I would say. Something like that. It's the same area. It's the same area right over here. Once we break down, you're going to see silver start to outpace gold again. It's very similar to what's going on over here with gold and Bitcoin currently. The reason I say that, because at this point in the cycle, what you're looking at is seeing Bitcoin massively outperform. Look at 2017. This was the bull market. The bull market before that was in 2013. You see the leg down. Everyone here is familiar with this stage of the bull market that we're in, and you could see that it occurs. Here's 2017 over and over again, and we're just getting started. We're about to make a big leg down, in my opinion. I don't think during this year in 2021, during the bull phase over here, during the melt up and parabolic rise in Bitcoin, that we're going to see Bitcoin overcome gold's market cap. We'll just call it $10 trillion now. I don't think that's going to happen. That would probably place Bitcoin somewhere around, I haven't done the math on this, $425,000. But maybe next cycle. I mean, next cycle, I think we actually pierce and break Bitcoin's market cap, whatever that might be. Whatever. But during the bear market of Bitcoin also, you're going to see gold appreciating like this versus Bitcoin. Is gold something that I might position myself into when I decide to exit Bitcoin at the cycle top? Well, I'll be considering it. I'm laying the case out for you right here so that you understand why I would do that. Right? I don't know what's going on with the US dollar if I want to be invested in the US dollar. We'll see, 9 months from now. We'll talk about it 9, 10, 11, 12 months from now even when it's time to exit Bitcoin. That's not right now. So what is going on with gold versus the dollar, right? And is that where I want to be invested right now, gold versus the dollar? As I was saying, I might be interested in getting myself positioned more heavily into gold come the end of this year when it's time to exit Bitcoin. But what about right now? Right? So if you're tracking gold, you all know that I've maintained this uber bullish fundamental view on gold, and even said once it technically had gone into that bearish correction, I said that that's not a bear market at all when it comes to the technicals. They're just not running right now, and they're not going to run until we break outside that trend line over here. Breaking above this trend line, breaking above right now, it would be above this 1916 resistance right there. Gold should start flying. Right? Beautiful, beautiful, strong uptrend, beautiful consolidation, beautiful pullback. Here, you can see gold on the 30-minute. You can see gold right now coming into that resistance. We talked about that resistance briefly on yesterday's live stream in the morning, and we said that if we get above that little bit of resistance over there, that's when gold could start flying. You could see over here clearly gold intraday, 30-minute time frame, getting above that resistance right now. So looking forward, right, we see the dollar. We see the dollar actually just coming back after breaking out outside this trend channel over here and coming in for a retest. The dollar could still hold over here and continue that little bit of strength or that dead cat bounce that we've seen taking place on the dollar, and we'll see whether or not we get another leg up, maybe another leg up towards over here. This is the Bloomberg Dollar Index towards 1126, where we got some big resistance over there. We'll watch it and we'll see. Something is wrong though. Something is wrong. You can see this is the inverted 10-year yield over here, and you can see that normally gold and the inverted 10-year yield are in lockstep. You can see over here they're currently spread apart. Which one of them is right and which one of them is wrong? Or we're going to see those jaws snap together soon, and then we'll see which one it is. My bet is on gold as being correct. However, not against Bitcoin. I looked at that with you. I'm going to look at that with you really in depth right now about gold versus Bitcoin, so we know what to expect over here. But you can see gold over here right now stretched away from Bitcoin. There's a little bit of a bid into gold today. Is it something for you to take notice of? Is it something that you want to invest in? Now's the time to take a look at it. Let's do that together. What about silver? I think silver outperforms gold in 2021. I've been consistent about that message to you for months now. And do you remember coming out of the crisis, still was a fan of gold? Maybe that was my being over conservative. Maybe that's my nature, because I even at the time I was making the case for you why silver will outperform gold. So I don't know what I was thinking, but here's what I'm thinking now, right? So over here you could see, again, silver lined up, made that leg up, retest, just waiting to break out here. A break outside that trend line, that sends silver. That's when the momentum's going to be there. That's when you might want to look to attack. Otherwise, you're looking to lean into areas of support to pick up more silver here. But again, this is something that will just follow, just like I follow the markets. I'm not interested right now, even though I'm saying in 2021, I expect silver here to go on, not only to take out 2020 highs, trade above $30, but also trade above its all-time high at 50, and then into price discovery. Even still, is that something that's attractive, right? Is a 3x attractive from here right now on silver? It depends, right? Most of you are positioned in much lower on silver, as myself. It's something to hold. It should continue to increase in value, especially in 2021. There's just other places to deploy your money right now, which make a little bit more sense. I've been also pretty consistent that Ethereum is going to continue to outperform Bitcoin, right? Throughout, as it did clearly in 2020. but especially as we get into alt season right now. And why I don't have a price to put on where I think Ethereum ultimately ends up during this bull market phase over here, right? Does it have in it another 5x in here? Another 7x? I don't really know. I do know that when it's time for me to exit Bitcoin, that alts peak a week or two later, Ethereum will be close behind Bitcoin, and then you'll see other altcoins also within 10 days to 2 weeks, in my opinion, also top out, and that will be the beginning of the bull market phase of that 4-year cycle. If you're not familiar with the 4-year cycle, I do some phenomenal work on helping people understand the most important aspect of Bitcoin every 4 years because of the halving event, which takes the miner's reward, the reward they receive every 10 minutes for confirming the Bitcoin ledger. They receive a reward of Bitcoin for that. It's the reward is halved every 4 years. This causes a huge supply shock throughout Bitcoin. The halving, everyone, even this year, they were saying the halving's priced in. We knew the halving wasn't priced in. We were talking about the 4-year cycle way before anyone's mind was that, setting ourselves up over here. And we're going to continue to do that now. I said, first quarter 2021, that's when all correlations are really going to break out. They're breaking. Everyone now could see it clearly. So now I'm looking at where our exit's going to be, and I'm there to have that pointed out ahead of time. So as it unfolds, everyone has the emotional fortitude they need to be able to make what they believe to be the best informed trade at the time. Over here, though, on Ethereum, Bitcoin, again, now that we have the clear trend line break that we have been tracking, this really, I guess you could say, confirmed alt season. Now, for me, alt season started, I said 6 months after the halving, 2021 over here, right here into January, pretty dead on over there. I've always said about 6 months after the Bitcoin halving, you'll see the altcoins start picking up. And the reason for that is very simple. Bitcoin is making new all-time highs once again. Everyone is attracted to Bitcoin. They're looking for that more of a speculative investment, thinking that they missed out on Bitcoin. They believe that they're too late, that they should have bought Bitcoin 2 months ago, or more likely 2 years ago, not realizing this is a fantastic time to buy some cheap Bitcoin over here. And it's all about Bitcoin and remains all about Bitcoin and its 4-year cycle, which the rest of the crypto markets trade around. You could see the different cycles right over here. Here's the first cycle. This green line is the second cycle. This is yellow, the combination of them two. And this one right here is where we currently are, 252 days out, matching the first and second cycle, trading a little bit stronger because of this very easy environment over here. Interest rates low, $315 billion of QE a month. This is the environment Bitcoin was made for. The question is, who's going to be able to ride out the bull of all bulls? Who else is going to spend their time trading Bitcoin and or other altcoins? Are they going to do better? Fortunes could be made under these circumstances. A lot of people, the problem was in 2017 not making money trading altcoins. It was holding on to that money that they made because they had no idea about the 4-year cycle. They had no idea that we were entering a bear market, and they had no idea that they were going to lose 95% of whatever their balance was. Does everyone know this time, or is this time different? I guarantee you at the top, everyone is going to be saying this time is different. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to do my best to stay anchored. I'm interested to know a lot more about how Bitcoin could possibly become the world's reserve currency. I'm really interested to know what would cause central banks to put Bitcoin on their balance sheets. You all know they hold gold on their balance sheets. So if they hold gold, does it make sense that they might consider or entertain one day holding Bitcoin? Or will they be forced to? Will they be forced to because of the runaway hyperinflation? It's just stagflation. Don't worry about it, right? First it was deflationary. Meanwhile, prices are rising all around us every day. You have to be an idiot not to see the inflation, right? But it's deflation because QE is deflationary. No, tech is deflationary, right? Tech is deflationary. Inflation has been rampant now for a long time. And so what is happening next? Now they're telling you, no, it's just stagflation. Really, it's just stagflation. You don't have anything to worry about, right? But as we get into massive inflation and everyone's left standing, everyone's left falling, Then what? Oh, sorry about that. I was wrong. Anyway, that's the rant for today, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and smash the like button. I'm not getting out of here before we talk about Ethereum. Let's get a look at what's going on. I started on the daily on Ethereum. Let me come down to the 8-hour on Ethereum. Let me come down to a 2-hour on Ethereum. And you can just see, wow, we are knocking on that door of resistance over there. A breakout above. That should send off Ethereum to new all-time highs and then into price discovery. Whether or not we're rejected right here, that remains to be seen, and we'll keep watching that tomorrow morning. We'll check in on what's going on with Ethereum as well. Everyone, I hope you have a beautiful day. I'll see you in the morning.